Hey everybody, it's Scott Sandland. As you all know, I am speed dating with hypnotists for HypnoThoughts Live. The idea is simple. We are the world's largest hypnosis conference, and there are so many great presenters and so much amazing content. The feedback we keep getting is you guys saying, I just need to digest this. What the hell? And so we've done speed dating. It's the easiest way to do this. I'm going to spend 10, 15 minutes with all the pre and post conference presenters and have you just get a chance to get to know them and what they're teaching. And today is a perfect example of a person who, when I first got introduced to her, I was scared. And I don't know if she remembers this. We'll get into it. It's Tracy Gray. Tracy, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. I'm doing great this morning. How about you?
I'm great. I don't know if you remember this, but I don't know if this is the first time we met, but this is my first strong memory of you, which was at HypnoThoughts Live. You had a booth for mentalism because you do awesome mentalism stuff. And you had on your booth, and you weren't there, the bags with the nail spike coming through the piece of wood, and like you collapse the paper bags. And I saw that unattended at HypnoThoughts Live, and I didn't know who it was connected to, and I didn't know the skill set of the person involved. And I saw that, and just my liability alarms were going crazy. And then everything got calmed down immediately because I went, what the hell is that? And three stage guys just happened to be nearby, and all of them said, don't worry, it's Tracy. And so that's my first locked in when I hear your name is that.
Well, a lot of people sweat when they see those. I can totally understand that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's my long intro. Welcome to you. How are you?
Everything's fantastic. I've been doing a lot of work and a lot of different things, and loving the hypnosis stuff like everybody else. It's great. I have no complaints. So that's a good day.
That is a good day. And just to get into it right away, in the interest of time, you're teaching at HypnoThoughts Live on mentalism. Can you give just a quick high level of what it is and your spin on that ball?
Absolutely. I tell people that in my class, you're going to learn how to freak people out, right? Much like yourself, right? You're going to learn how to do that. As you
mission
know,
accomplished.
That's right, exactly. So as you know, I've been teaching for a while a class called, Be the Life of the Party, which is exactly what you learn to do. And it's one of those things where if you're a hypnotherapist, maybe you go to an event of any kind, small or larger individual, and somebody finds out you're a hypnotist and they say, well, show me something, show me something. And it kind of freaks people out because they're put on the spot. And and as everybody knows, while we would love to believe that hypnosis works on every person every time, it takes some time for that sometimes, right? It's not something that you can just do right out of the box. So they have something in their back pocket that they can do. It's a no-fail option. They can try all sorts of different things. And if it goes great, that's fantastic. If it doesn't, then they have this little thing. Oh, okay, do this. And they leave and they're going to talk about you for the rest of the day. It's fantastic. And same thing goes for street. As you may know, I kind of started with street hypnosis, and I'll get out there, and every street hypnotist, biggest fear is that you go sleep and they go bleh, and they kind of laugh at you. Right. And you say, you don't just have to stop there. You can continue with that, or you can go into some of the mentalism things that are no fail. And then it makes you end on this high note that really sends them off with a really good impression of you. And it makes you very unique. Yeah, and so the same thing same thing with stage 2, which I do mostly smaller shows, which big shows you don't have to worry about, right? Most of the time it goes perfectly. But with small shows, sometimes you need some things to help it end on a good note.
Yep. And early on in HypnoThoughts Live, as we were putting together the curriculums and what classes, I was saying we need mentalism for exactly what you were talking about. And I needed it for waiting rooms in children's clinics. So like children's dental centers, pediatric stuff. I used mentalism and suggestibility tests kind of things to break the ice and play with kids and get them going. And I know how valuable it was for me. And I don't pretend to be good at mentalism by any stretch of the imagination, but it worked amazingly for me with, very little setup, very little anything. And so I was saying, we need this, we need this, we need this. And so we were pushing hard to get mentalism in. And now that we are getting crazy good feedback about it. And all the people that are taking, because there's, in a great way, a couple of you that are teaching courses during the conference, pre-post conference. Because there's so much great information, the feedback we're getting from all the attendees is, I didn't know how much this was going to benefit me. I didn't know how much this was going to help me. From clinical people, not stage people. Clinical people are seeing the value in this. And I love that you make things in a really good way small. You make things approachable, digestible. You also show us how to make them big. But you also teach like everybody how to make this like fit in their pocket and they can bring it with them.
Exactly. Well, that's my hope is that, that's for me, that was the biggest thing, right? So I like things that you can do in 30 seconds. You can grab attention, you build rapport, you're at the grocery store and you can do it, right, with somebody,
Yeah.
and you might get a client out of that. And, you might get any kind of client, a therapy client or a show client or all sorts of different things. It's just something that, I mean, honestly, I can't imagine not having it anymore. It's one of those things that, I
For
find
sure.
that in many ways I rely on it in lots of ways. It's just so much fun. And the other thing is it makes people laugh, it makes people happy, it gives people a good feeling that they leave with. So those are awesome things too.
And I want to talk about the community that you guys have as like street performer, like street hypnosis, like performance hypnosis, mentalism. Like there's all these sort of subcategories of, I'm going to call it entertainment hypnosis, but there's flavors in there. And you guys have an awesome community, and you guys are supportive of each other, which I love. But talk about what makes you different. And I know you're doing it respectfully, but talk about what
Oh yeah.
sets your class apart, and where you kind of find your spot, because you've got such great street cred. They all love you. Why?
Well, okay. So I think what makes what I do differently, especially in the classes, it's a little bit like in hypnosis, the difference between reading a script and going with principles, right? That seems to be a big thing. And what I tend to do is I go with principles. So in my class, what I like to do the most is I say, okay, here's the tool. Here's the principle, here's the tool. And this is how I use it. But let's find ways for you to use it, because everybody's different, right? I mean, I have my own style in my own way. And just like in hypnosis shows, you don't want to do a script that's exactly like somebody else's. I mean, nobody wants that. So I try to make it as unique as possible, because some things that seem very simple at the beginning is really just the tip of the iceberg. And then if you start to build on it, and honestly, the students are the ones that help me do this. They all bring their experiences from
Yeah, for
different
sure.
places, different things. We all get together. And at the end of the class, I wonder if they should actually pay me, because I learn about as much from them as they learn from me. So it's we take that one tool and now we build a mountain, and you can do this, or you can do this, or you can do this. And now you're totally unique.
Yeah, and that ability that you really emphasize in your class is, they don't have to like think on their feet and be quick. Like you give them time to get it in the classroom, and so that when they're out there in the real world doing this stuff, it's coming at them slow and they already know their style.
And that's exactly right. And for me, and I know, I don't know, maybe other people are better than this than me, but when I'm in a class, I learn the best when I get to do it, right? If I don't get to do it, if I leave the class and I've taken notes on the class, maybe I never even try it because I'm too scared or too worried about it. So what we do in class, it's always very comfortable. It's always very collaborative. We get
Yeah.
together, we learn the principle, we talk about it a lot, we do different things with it, then we practice it, and you get to practice it. And people, that's probably what they get the best part out of. And then another thing with my class is I don't think we ought to just practice on hypnotists, because who's the easiest people to do this on, right? It's pretty easy to do a hypnosis demonstration on hypnotists. So we go out just into the hotel or into the street somewhere and just do some things around people at the bar or something like that. And once they've done that one time, it's all it takes. One time, they're off and running, and they're doing it all over the place. And it does not take long to realize that, yes, you can do it. It's not that hard. And you get great reactions.
It's so true. And it's one of those things that I really want to encourage anybody who's watching this, who, especially if you have a clinical bent, like I did, be exposed to mentalism. It's such a gift for your practice. And if you're going to do it, and if you're curious about doing that, you've got to go with somebody who's got a great reputation. And we've done a great job, I've got to say, of attracting the real pros. And like I said, my first impression of you, my first memory of you is multiple people that I had multi-year relationships with, knowing that it was you and all going, there's nothing to worry about if it's Tracy. She's so got the goods. This is like that. There's no liability if she's involved. So from a clinician looking at stuff perspective, I really want to impress this on those people that are like, oh, I could never do this. The people who get it all said, yeah, you're good. So anything that you get nervous about, this is the class. This is a great place. And also established presenters, established, people who do entertainment stuff. Still, yes, this is a class that adds stuff and just makes it fun. So as we're talking about that, I just want to keep driving that point home. Forgive me. But in your classes, like, okay, I get that it's engaging. I get that you're customizing with the people, but and maybe this is unfair, but can you like give a piece of your class that you say, here's something that we definitely do in the class, or here's something that's a favorite of mine, or something that for people who don't know what a mentalism class even is, makes it a little bit more real?
Okay, sure. So my favorite thing is a tool that we teach where I can go up to people, and this is a good example of the mountain thing as well. So there's a tool that you can use where you can walk up to somebody and have them name a number, and you can have the number written on a piece of paper before they name it. So in other words, I predicted what they would say. Okay, that's one way you can use that tool, but now you can take that same tool and you can go, let's say you were, yeah, I don't know if you've seen those little targets that you put little magnets on and they stick to the target. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So you could have somebody, one of those, and you could have people pushing some darts against that, add it up, and you've already predicted what the number was going to be. It's a prediction effect. So predictions, metal bending, being able to, read somebody's mind basically is what you're doing. There's just, gosh, there's so many different things right now. Of course, in this case, I'm not coming up with all of them, but okay, so there's ways to switch things, right? So I can switch things on people. I can do different things. That I've been doing mentalism for so long. And one of the things that happens with magic and mentalism is you buy all this stuff. When I got into it, I bought everything I could find, right? And so I bought and I bought and I bought. And so I kind of think of myself as a curator of, okay, about probably 65% of the things that I've bought, I never use because they don't work for me very well. They're not good necessary for hypnosis, because I'm not into doing magic tricks. I don't do many card things, because I kind of think that if you do a magic trick to somebody, they're going to think hypnosis is magic, right? So everything I present to them is magic of the mind. It's different. It's I'm working with them. We are doing some weird unconscious things. I do always say, this isn't really hypnotism or hypnosis, but it's something that's really interesting. Let's see if this works with you. And then you do your process, and they're like, well, okay. And to me, it's a convincer. As much as magnetic fingers is a convincer, this is a convincer. And so, there's ways that, lie detection, that's a really good one. You can do lots of lie detection stuff with this, where you can talk about body language. And while lots of times you'll get that right on lie detection, this is a no-fail method. You will get it right. You will know the person who's lying in this particular instance. So it just gives you, here's one. I mean, my favorite one next to the numbers is, I'm going to be teaching a way that you can name a childhood pet that you have never seen or known about, right? So you go up to this person, you're going to go through this process, and you're going to have them pretend their name's up on a big screen. You're going to say, hey, were you hanging out with you and your pet, Fluffy? And they're going to go, oh, because how in the world did you know it was Fluffy, right? So those are the types of things that we do. I hope that explains it a little bit.
And that's the thing, is like, it has this huge aha, but there's all these outs and safety in it that you guys have created, so that you get to go in with confidence, and you're going to get it right, and you're going to have this huge wow impact moment. And it's such a great tool, whether you're doing entertainment or clinical or any combination thereof.
It is, because so you can take lots of guesses and chances. That's the cool thing. So in your hypnosis, you can do lots of things and do things that may or may not always work. And great if they do, but you don't have to worry if they don't, because you've got your next step oh, I'm gonna freak them out with this next thing. I know that's
Right.
going to work. So you're exactly right. That's a good way to explain it.
It's such cool stuff. You've got the class going. Anybody who's curious about this, you got to go to htlive.net, check out our schedule, go to pre and post conference on the website, and you'll see Tracy's name there. You'll see a description of her class, and you can register right there. We've made it easy to put it all in one place, and we really want you to get there, because at htlive.net, all the content for all the courses is there, and you can figure out what courses you want to go to during the conference. You can set up a schedule, and we'll have all this stuff set up for you so that you can make HypnoThoughts Live, which is, like I said, the world's largest hypnosis conference, easy for you to navigate and to get the most information out of it. We are just really grateful and fortunate that we've got so many amazing presenters. And Tracy, you're obviously a huge supporter of the conference, which we love. And you've been coming for quite a few years now. And
All but one, I think. Yeah.
yeah, I was going to say, like, it's just about, yeah, it might be all but one off the top of my head. That's amazing. It's so good. And I just want people to show up. So if you guys are watching this, come to htlive.net, register for Tracy's class, check out all the other stuff that we have going on, and we will see you there soon. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Scott.